Hey Elizabeth. How is your math inclusion class going?
Well, do you have a few minutes? I'd need to find a way to meet the needs of all of my students. I want to provide differentiation to meet everyone's needs, but it seems impossible.
Tell me about your class again. How many students do you have that have been identified as gifted and talented? How many of your students have individual education plans?
3 of my students are AIG. During math time I have 11 students with IEPs. 3 of my students are LELL, but they have all tested out of receiving services. 13 of my students are working at least 2 years below grade level in reading, writing or math. Probably 5 of those students receive free or reduced lunch. We don't really have a lot of cultural diversity at our school, so my 3 ELL students are the only ones whose culture might present challenges for them. And really only 8 of my students are working at grade level in every subject. Wow! I'm overwhelmed just hearing myself tell you about all the needs in my room. What do I do?
First of all, Elizabeth, take a deep breath and remember you are never alone. You have your grade level partners, Mrs. B the special education teacher, me. And don't forget Mrs. Herrick, our math coach. Don't you and Mrs. B plan with her regularly to address the need for differentiation for your high and low students? And remember what we learned in our collaboration training from Friend and Cook. When all the members of the collaboration team are voluntary, and we all bring our resources to the discussion, we are all responsible for the success of these students. It doesn't just rest on your shoulders. Let's talk about everything. We will select a focus for our next PLT meeting. How does that sound?
Oh, what would I do without you? Thank you for reminding me that working with my team makes all the difference.
Elizabeth, you are one of the most committed teachers I know on our collaboration team. The administration would not have selected you to work so closely with Mrs. B and Mrs. Herrick if you weren't the type of teacher who wanted the best for all of her students. You always want to provide the just right lesson for your students.
Thank you, Zelda. I do value the support of our administration. I've already met with our AP to say that I want to do the inclusion model again next year. I truly believe everyone is an important part of the team. The administration, the parents, my students, and the support of our wonderful PTA.